on.
Rich, what's with this 4-way?
I am confused. I for a second, I was trying to figure out, like, did they all share a tag partner? Because it's insane. I mean, Bob Holly and Billy Gunn are just going to throw poor Jay Spade around, and Stevie Richards, I know he's been doing the DDP yoga, but I don't think he's ready for no countouts. Crap. Well, yeah, they might just get thrown around a little bit. So this is one of those first matches where I want to see how far the Athletic Commission lets them take it.
And then the other match that was advertised here, that the other one that I thought was interesting, that's why I wrote it down, was the first ever father-son 3-way international tag match.
Wait, father-son 3-way international?
Yes, it's Damien 666 and Besta 666 versus Luke Hawx and PJ Hawx versus Roy Knight and Ricky Knight Jr.
Wow.
This is the match that's happening.
Okay.
This is happening. I can't make this shit up.
I mean, they will be there at least to see their daughter during Mania, so I mean that's fun. You get a payday at the same time.
Yeah,
but I never thought Bestia and Damien. Yeah, this is up there with Spring Break as far as just nuts.
What the fuck, right?
So was it the legal age to wrestle is 18?
Yeah,
is that it?
Did there a rule in New Orleans? Is there Indiana for that too?
Well, I can see it now. Is that if you don't wrestle, I'll tell your mom I need. Dad, don't make me wrestle. I'll tell your mom I need. No, I think about that. No. Okay, I'll wrestle.
Wait, that was far.
It blows my mind.
Okay, we'll continue. We'll go back to Axxess 8 p.m. session. More tournament action. We have Dan Matha versus Drew Gulak in the UK Championship matchup. We have Akira Tozawa versus Kona Reeves in the North American one. Come Kairi Sane versus Bianca Blair, and the Street Profits versus Cesar Minoni and Adrian G. I can't say this one, but there you go. Any thoughts on these matchups there, Rich?
I'm looking for the Kairi Sane Bianca Blair match. Everything else, I'm kind of like in the middle. Dan Matha Drew Gulak should be a really good technical match, though.
That's true. I think it's interesting. Drew Gulak in the UK one here. I think that's interesting. Dad, your thoughts?
I think this will be a great match for Drew Gulak, especially how he's kind of turned his character around and made it more
serious.
Yeah.
I actually like the new serious character.
More serious and basically kind of more, okay, I'm about wrestling moves than being a character type of situation.
When we went to go see SmackDown Live here in Milwaukee, and 205 Live was after it, Drew Gulak bored the living fuck out of me. And now I watch him on 205 Live now, and I'm like, where was this Drew Gulak when we were there? Where was this guy?
Well, if you remember the gimmick that came out with Drew Gulak, it's about him being, kind of like, I'm on my self-crusade to basically
Which is fine. I don't mind it.
But you can only take a gimmick up to a certain point before people kind of say, you know what?
And now he's on 205 Live feuding with Mark Andrews.
Right.
I'm just like, wow.
It's like the people only going to hang on to this for so long before they say, this is boring. I'm not interested. You're not grabbing my attention. Let's go on to something else. And I'm glad they were able to turn his character around when people are saying, wow, this guy can really wrestle.
By the way, Rich, I heard you laughing when I said that.
Yeah. It blows my mind. I remember Drew when he was in Catchpoint and Evolved, and I loved Catchpoint. I loved the whole zeitgeist behind it, and then seeing the silliness, the PowerPoints, I was like, "What is this dude?" And so when they brought in Drake Maverick that's what they call Rockstar Spud now, right?
Yep.
And he was like, "You got to be serious. You got to cut the crap and just get back to what you're doing." I like it. I like all of 205 Live now. I just want to see my boy get a little more love as far as Drew goes, because his brother's not that far behind.
Well, next week on 205 Live is Drew Gulak versus Mark Andrews. So that should be fun.
Great.
That's going to be live right after SmackDown next week, so that's going to be interesting. All right, you said Evolve. It's like you knew my segue. Evolve 102 going on at the Convention Center. It'll be on streaming live on all the WWN platforms. We have Zack Sabre Jr., the Evolve champion, taking on Matt Riddle. That could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. And then, of course, we have a tag team scramble, which I write down the rules of this because they make me laugh. It says 2 in at a time, no tag needed, first of all wins.
Wait. 2 in at a time?
Yeah.
No tags needed. First fall wins.
Wouldn't this kind of be like Texas
tornado
tornado
match?
rules? Yeah.
Yeah. My head hurts because it's like
I rated it on the website.
you could be like one of the other teams and not even in the match yet.
Exactly.
And
Next thing you know, they'll throw in the 2-minute counter clock. Doot, doot.
But this is Chris Dixon and Jaka defending against the End, James Drake and Anthony Henry and Tracy Williams and Dom Garrett. And so that's that. Timothy Thatcher and Walter are tagging together. Well, that's fun. AR Fox versus Will Ospreay and Keith Lee versus Darby Allin. Evolve 102. Rich, what are you thinking here?
I'm thinking I'm going to love that main event. I'm going to have to watch this one on delay again because I'm going to be plugged to my seat during Axxess to make sure I catch as much as I can before I have to leave. Keith Lee versus Darby Allin seems like a invitation for Darby to get chucked into the third row again, so I'm very nervous about it. But for the most part, I think the show's great. Anytime that I get to see Ring Kampf wrestle, and now you got Sekimoto involved, yeah, I'm here for it.
That's interesting, I have to say. Now we go on to the show you said you wanted to get to, the WrestleCon Super Show over at the Sugar Mill. Now, I remember I heard on the deep dive that this first match has changed. I had it down at the Golden Love versus the BFF. So what's this match now?
They have the thing about the WrestleCon people, and this is my first time going to one of their shows, is they aren't that forthcoming when it comes to matches. So they're just like also appearing, the Golden Lovers and the Best Friends. So it used to be the match that was going to be the main event, Friends versus Lovers, but with the injury to Trent, it's going to be the Golden Lovers versus someone. Maybe Trent, the Kentucky Gentleman gets a tag partner, but they haven't been very forthcoming. Instead, they've pushed the other two matches harder as far as you get to see Jeff Cobb and Tomohiro Ishii and Penta El Zero Miedo versus Joey Janela, which is those are the masters of the package pile driver, and they might not be able to use it.
That's interesting. Dad, your thoughts?
Pentagon?
Penta Zero M. That's how they call him now. So
he has to use that name because he'll get his pantsuit off by Triple A.
Triple A. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how that works. So yeah. So when we say Penta Zero M, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Me and Mark actually met Pentagon at a BCW show here in Milwaukee, so that was pretty cool. We got pictures with him last January.
Yeah,
he wrestled here at an indie show in Milwaukee.
Nice guy, and one of those that you blink your eye and you miss a move.
Yeah, so we got pictures with him. Nice guy.
Yeah,
that was the same day. I love telling this story that Mark here was wearing a Roman Reigns T-shirt, and he got yelled at by War Machine for wearing a Roman Reigns T-shirt.
Yeah, my guy's War Machine. They called me out on it.
Yeah, so War Machine was at the same show.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, jeez. I mean, that's amazing. One, because now we know the one Roman Reigns shirt buyer. And two, I think that's brave going to an indie show wearing that because that shows you're an actual supporter, not someone looking for a laugh.
Well, Roman Reigns,
that's really cool.
Well, Roman Reigns shirt buyer over the age of 15.
Yeah. But what's really weird is when I had a comeback line for him, I said, well, that's because I haven't had a chance to buy one of your T-shirts. I go, look, here it is. It's on the table, $20.
So funny. I love War Machine.
That's when the suitcase is breaking for them trying to rip it open to sell it to you.
Oh, it was so funny. I admit, it was really, really funny.
Another NXT.
So next up, we have the. By the way, I was very surprised War Machine's not in the Tag Team Invitational. By the way,
so am I.
So hopefully they just kind of appear. That'd be great. All right, next up, we have the interesting show, which originally was listed as Beyond Wrestling, which is the commotion out of Boston, but they've changed it, and it's Beyond Wrestling. Much like much like Impact and Lucha later, they're doing a card versus a women's promotion. So all the matches are men versus women.
Wait, isn't there a stipulation in Louisiana that you can't do that?
Oh, if there's no blood involved, apparently. You can do
okay, got it.
They just call that Tuesday, apparently, in Louisiana.
So this is 11:55 p.m. It will be up. It will be on WWN Live. It's also on Powerbomb TV, which I found out you can watch the show for free on Powerbomb.tv with their 45-day trial. I'm not quite sure why they have a 45-day trial, but they do. So
that's pretty sweet.
You can watch the show for free. The show, the matches that were announced that I wrote down are Jimmy Havoc versus Jessica Havoc, Timothy Thatcher versus Tony Storm, who I love Tony Storm, Matt Riddle versus Deonna Purrazzo.
Your girl.
Yeah.
And what's the other match I got written here? Wheeler Yuta versus Maxwell Jacob. I don't think I spelled that right. Versus Mia Yim versus Tessa Blanchard.
Maxwell?
So not that Maxwell.
Okay,
not that
I was gonna say what?
So this is fun, Rich. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, this is wild. And I'm usually a person that's more on the fence when it comes to intergender wrestling. But the people they've paired up, I have no problem seeing wrestle because I think they match each other. Like if you put Jimmy Havoc with a woman that's more of a technical wrestler, that's going to look like abuse. Whereas Jessa Havoc will probably be bigger than him and chuck him around the room.
Yeah, I like
Thatcher Storm. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I agree. The Timothy Thatcher Tony Storm one, I'm like, wow, that's going to be a really good wrestling match. It's just going to be a wrestling match.
Isn't Havoc versus Havoc? Wouldn't you consider that foreplay?
Ooh. Oh wow.
Every week, Rich. Every week.
That's good. That was good though. That was good timing.
All right, and that ends. Technically, this show ends sometime earlier Friday morning, so we jump right to Friday. 12 noon, WrestleCon. What is this one? This is the Crash. This is the Sugar Mill, and this is an interesting. I wrote this down. This is a while ago, and I'm not even sure what this match is just happening still. But here we go. We have Penta Zero M versus Austin Aries.
A-Dubba.
L.A. Park. Okay, help me with pronunciation on this one, Rich.
Okay, so it's gonna be Nico El Millionario.
And Damien 666 versus Best of 666, Garza Jr. and Mr. 450.
So if your name is Mr. 450 and you can't do a 450,
then would you call yourself Mr. 360?
Yeah. And Ray Phoenix versus Clementa versus Rich Swann.
Ray Phoenix. Phoenix.
Yes. Well, he adds Ray, and everyone knows who he is.
Yeah.
So this is a fun one. I like the Penta versus Austin match. That's interesting.
Did you say Love Park is going to be in this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Oh man,
I missed the match because on the next page of my run sheet here. Is it Daga versus Brian Cage versus Willie Mack versus Sami Callihan?
Well, we saw the Brian Cage and Willie Mack match, and that was fantastic.
Yeah, we went to the House of Hardcore show here back in December, and they gave us a surprise match of Cage versus Willie Mack.
Oh my God!
And it was amazing.
It was amazing.
It was one of those matches when it was over. They didn't do an intermission, and this would have been the point to do an intermission right after that match was over, because they went almost 25 minutes, and there was nothing on the line, so there was no way you know who was going to win.
And they showed each of them did their finishing moves, I think, at least 3 times.
It was absolutely
and they were
incredible.
Still going. I mean, it was great. I mean,
wow.
You got your money's worth out of this match.
This is up on Twitch. It's the House of Hardcore match it's House of Hardcore from December. It is totally worth seeing. It was absolutely amazing to watch in person.
So if you get those two in a match like this, you're going to get your money's worth, and you're going to have the people paying attention to this match and not dozing off.
Yes. So we move on. Same time, but over at the convention center. It is Progress Wrestling, Chapter 66, Marty Grabs.
Wait a minute. Marty Grabs?
I'd love the days of the Progress shows.
Yeah, instead of Mardi Gras, they cut it out and it's Marty Grabs. Yeah.
Marty Grabs what?
Marty Grabs. Marty Grabs, before we get into it on here, I do want to say we sat down with Haydn Gleed, and he also gave his perspective from the UK on this very card, so I'll throw it to him. Progress, Chapter 66, Marty Grabs. Can I say, Hayden, are the Progress shows just fun titles all the time?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a sort of hook for Progress Wrestling. Every time that they announce a new show and a new chapter, they always have a nice funky title, and it's usually something either if it's in a different city than London, it's some cultural reference to that particular city, or for example when Jim Cornette had a bit of a pop at Progress Wrestling, they called it, I can't remember what it was called off the top of my head now. It was Old Man Shouts at Cloud or something like that. And it's always something interesting and something to look forward to with Progress.
Oh yeah, so Marty Grabs, that is the first show here, Chapter 66. And I will ask you, I asked this to Rich Fann, but I'll ask you too, what the hell is the Thunder Bastard match?
It's the Progress gimmick match essentially, and all it is 8 men. I want to